At some point, we've got to ask the question, why would I spend $900 on a PlayStation console when that's creeping into PC territory? Because if I'm dropping that kind of money, I want freedom. I want options. I want something that grows with me instead of boxing me in, right? For the same price Sony wants for a console, I could go build or buy a starter PC. Something that I can upgrade, customize, tweak, and make my own. A machine that isn't just for gaming, but for everything else I do. Editing, recording, creating, multitasking, modding, all of it. And once you're on PC, the world just opens up. You've got Steam, Xbox Store, or Game Pass, but then they did raise the price to $30, so that's not that good anymore. Epic Game Store, GOG, itch.io, entire ecosystems of games, sales, mods, indie gems, early access titles, and cross-platform libraries. So you're not locked into one storefront or one company's idea of what you should be playing. Now, although I still love consoles, I don't love spending PC prices for them. There's a difference between having a PC and having a console. Why would I want to spend $900 for a console when I can use that towards a PC? So I'm not saying no consoles are bad, not at all. I love consoles. I love having both. But not for the price of a PC. And that's the thing. If I take that same $900 and put it into a PC, I'm not just buying a gaming machine. I'm buying creative freedom. I'm buying flexibility. A device that works for me, not one that limits me to whatever Sony decides to release this year. Meanwhile, if I drop that money on a PlayStation, all I can really do is play PlayStation titles. No mods, no customization, no multi-storefront library, no creative tools, no upgrade path, just a very expensive box that plays a shrinking list of exclusives. Because at that point, it's not just about gaming anymore. It's about value. It's about choice. And it's not about paying PC prices for console limitations. I'm not going to go super deep into this next part because I'm planning a whole separate video on it. The fact we have to pay online multiplayer subscriptions. All three companies make you pay just to play with your friends. It's like a subscription tax on top of the hardware you already bought. And they're not just tiny fees. They stack up. PlayStation Plus Essential is currently $79.99 a year. Xbox Game Pass Core is $59.99 a year. Nintendo Switch Online, which is currently the cheapest, is $19.99 a year. So even if you pick the cheapest ecosystem, you're still paying a yearly toll just to access multiplayer, something PC players have never been charged for. And when you look at PlayStation specifically, that's $80 every single year just to keep online access. Meanwhile, on PC, online play is free. I never have to pay a dime playing on my laptop or PC. So why are consoles that are made specifically for gaming so much more frustrating than a box made for all these different things? I'm not trying to sell anybody a PC. I'm just very frustrated at what these console companies have done to us, or are currently doing to us. As someone who grew up playing consoles, this is very frustrating. And it's sickening that they make us pay these prices just to play with friends. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions. If you agree, disagree, let me know.
Isn't it just in such a great world state? Isn't it just lovely and so healthy right now? Everything's just rainbows and sunshine and there's no massive problems at all.
While we talk about that, I actually have a goal I want to do in this episode. I want to take over the pillager outpost and prevent them from spawning in. In order to do that, if I'm right, we need to replace the flooring with slabs. So we'll do that while we rant. To get into it, Nintendo recently made quite a surprising move by announcing that many of its Switch 2 games will be embracing split pricing. This means that digital games will be cheaper, while physical copies of Nintendo games will remain at their standard price.
How cheap are the digital games going to be?
The upcoming Yoshi game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, is going to feature this split pricing. The digital version is currently priced at $59.99, whereas the physical pre-order copy is listed for $69. Digital games, in my opinion, should be cheaper, just by a
Yeah,
little
they
bit,
should be,
than
but
physical
but I,
games.
I think I think I think it should be, a little more the other direction where the physical game is like $60 and the digital game is 40,
Mm,
I think I mean that's just like pie in the sky thinking and all, but like I don't know, man. A Yoshi 3D or 2D platformer is not gonna be worth $70 to anybody. I don't know who's paying
yeah,
that.
not in my
Unless
opinion.
a game like that is probably worth like $40 max,
Mm,
To me, it's probably worth like 25. Even and I love Nintendo stuff.
mm-hmm.
It's just like Crimson Desert, for an example, is a game that probably is worth $70 because you can get 200 hours out of it pretty easily if you like it. But like
Yeah.
a Yoshi, really easy but like pretty and artistic platformer like that, you're probably going to get through it in 10 hours or less. And it's just, that is not worth $70 in
Right.
any world, I don't think.
Why do I have a white
People
bed
can
and not a
talk.
red one? That is not okay. Let's reset our spawn
Orange's
point.
Red Bed Redemption.
Yeah, George has joined the game. George is finally here.
I am, I am almost there.
Let's go, George. But
I,
Sony has recently, actually, the day that I was editing how Xbox is losing its identity, if y'all haven't
hey, if
watched
I
that
could
already.
interrupt for a sec, if I can interrupt for a second, I hate to break your train of thought, but it gave me all my stuff back that it took away from me.
Oh, really? No
Yeah, I
way.
have my medium backpack and like a bunch of iron tools.
So, 2 play sessions later, it's given George all his stuff back.
That's crazy. That is diabolical. But anyway, continue with what you were saying.
Also, the pillager that keeps bobbing up out of the water. If y'all haven't already, go check out our video where we talked about how Xbox is sadly losing its identity ever since the This is an Xbox campaign, which is
Oh
just
yeah, what a
not the way to
nightmare.
go as a big Xbox fan. But as I was editing that video and talking about console price increases, that very day, Sony came out and announced that they are raising the prices of the PlayStation 5, which is crazy timing.
Oh,
So the standard PlayStation 5 will rise to $649 US, whereas the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will go up to $599, and the PS5 Pro is gonna be $899 dang US. So we're not just raising the prices a little bit, we're getting into entry-level PC prices.
yeah.
We can go get a pretty good, well, we could a few years ago, I'm not really sure in 2026 given the price of RAM and everything, but still, $900 for a PlayStation. You can take that money and go get a PC. This is not the way to go with consoles.
I don't know, man. It is an absolute nightmare. The whole console market. They're like, it's all bad.
We're cooked,
Everybody
yeah.
everybody is making these horrible decisions as far as all the console makers go. And, there's just there's not really any hope at all, unfortunately. I
Dang.
wish there was.
It's sad because every other month we're getting more news that they've gone and done something absurd. The very first major thing, speaking of all this, that happened to affect me a great deal personally was Game Pass's price increase, because I was a
Mm,
loyal Game Pass subscriber for over a year straight. It might have been 2 years straight. That's every single month. I had Game Pass Ultimate. So when they went and upped the price to $30, I can't pay $30 every month. It takes away the whole deal of having Game Pass, because at 14, which I think they raised it to 19, which was the first L, that's when it started being like, then I could play, let's say, focus on 3 games, maybe some new releases that I wanted to try but didn't want to fully commit to because they're, $60 to $70. Game Pass was perfect for that. But Then going from that to 30 made it completely not worth it because I could
Yeah.
just go, I'm halfway to buying any of the games I want to own, whether it be physical media or digitally. Every other month, more news comes out that something else is going up. Now, PlayStation raising their prices that much is insane. 6 years, what has it been, 6 years since the PlayStation 5 came out? And rather than lowering the prices, which would make sense because it's been out all these years, you're raising them $100 dang, almost 1,000. You're charging $900 for the PlayStation 5 Pro when people can just go and get a PC.
So like, a lot like I was saying about the Switch, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where like they're doing the split pricing to get away with raising the price of physical games. They're raising the price of the consoles so they can get away with raising the price of the next generation of consoles.
Right, yeah.
That's what it's actually about, you know, if you want to get right down to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
uh like the next generation of consoles are probably going to be priced at like $900 for the
Mm,
standard version of whatever it is, which stinks, but that's just how it's going to be. And they're raising the prices of the current consoles rather than lowering them as you always do at the end of a generation,
exactly,
because
yeah.
everybody who wants them has them, you know. But they're doing that to prepare people for what's coming. I would say, which stinks.
That does really stink. As we say all the time, I'm worried for the future of gaming. I'm disappointed with all these L's that keep happening. Like Game Pass going up, everything is an Xbox. PlayStation raising the price that much is absurd. Just
Yeah, I don't think it's too much of an unrealistic doomerism just to say it's kind like console gaming is looking like it's kind of Jover, y'all.
it's Jover.
It's not looking great at all. In fact, it's looking really bleak,
Mm.
which is sad because I've up until the last 5 years I have been a console gamer
Mm-hmm.
primarily. You know,
Yeah, for
like it's
sure.
only very recently, mostly due to the necessity of it. Like a lot of must-play games. Or you know really what the reason is because all the stupid consoles make you buy their online platform to play online games. That's the main reason that I'm not.
Yeah, that stinks. And it always has. Just wanting to play Minecraft with your friends if you have a Nintendo Switch. Oops, look what I've done. You have to pay for Nintendo Online, whatever it's called. Or Xbox. If you don't have a PC and you play on a console, you have to pay. Yeah, Josh, what happened?
I honestly have no idea. But yeah, I was getting bullied by those birds in the nether,
Uh-huh.
and like I just caught on fire randomly. I have no idea why. I was trying to find my tunnel in there and I couldn't find it.
Huh. I need more cobblestone. Y'all, this is going so messily because I'm trying to play the game and commentate while I talk. My brain is really lagging. I need more mangrove wood, I know that much. I need another axe and more mangrove wood. Pillager, get out of here. Let me go sleep real quick. Hopefully a creeper won't blow me up. Also drink some water. Oh yeah, I was saying, if you play on console, on Xbox, then you have to pay for Xbox Live to play with your friends, which has always just been so stupid, even when I was a little girl. I've always thought, why do I have to pay a subscription service to play online games? It always has
Yeah.
been big L to charge your players for that. Har.
My goal for this gaming session is to try to see if I can find another fortress.
Okay.
Because we have to revive my guy that's stuck in the hole out there somewhere.
Thief?
Yeah, I forgot his name. Oh, come on. Keep getting done dirty. You know what probably got me was those stupid flaming skull things in the nether.
They're really annoying.
Yeah, I'm not going in there with a combat build because I don't want to lose a bunch of good stuff. I just want to tunnel until I can make it to another fortress somewhere.
Exactly. It's still looking pretty ratchet, but we're making it happen little by little. We do need to go back to the mangrove biome and get more wood. I still would like to have an Xbox Series X, because currently I still have my Series S, which I've had for several years now. I think they have gone up since I bought mine, too. I'm not sure when they had a price increase, but unless I'm mistaken, they did go up. Because the S
Yeah,
was 200
and
something.
can we just talk for a minute about how a PlayStation 5 Pro is not worth $900?
Mm-hmm.
Like it is. There's no world in which that is a worthwhile purchase. Like I like PlayStations. I like the PlayStation 5 as a console, even though they haven't given me a whole bunch of content to like make it worthwhile to play, really,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But like it is not worth $900. It's a stretch at 600. Because
Yeah.
let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have like maybe 25 games for the PlayStation 5, which, you know, that's something. But with it getting near the end of its lifespan, that's
Mm-hmm.
not nearly enough to justify that much of a purchase in the beginning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Generally what console the people who put consoles out want to do is they subsidize the price of their console so you buy the games on their platform, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they have to take a little bit of a loss on selling the actual console, it's to get you to buy the games for the length of that console's lifespan, right?
Mm.
But yeah, like that's not what the game's gonna be anymore, or like the price to produce consoles has gotten so crazy out of hand that maybe they just shouldn't even try because nobody's gonna pay those kind of prices.
When you're making consoles, you don't want to be pricing them at PC prices, because then people
No.
will just go buy a PC and just get everything that they can on Steam or Epic Games or whatnot.
Which at this point you should. It like if you're gonna pay $900, you should buy a PC. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe like in hindsight, I was kind of puzzled as to why PlayStation was stopping porting all their stuff to PC. I think it's because they're panicking a little bit. You know, like if we have to do this big price increase, you know, are people just gonna buy a PC instead of a PlayStation altogether? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's probably a pretty well-founded fear, but it's of their own doing. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't charge $900 for a console that can only run PlayStation games.
No.
It's way, in my opinion, better
Yeah.
if you took $900 to buy a PC than a dang PlayStation, a PlayStation Pro or whatever. That is just absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah. It's completely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't necessarily help the price of RAM, but on the same hand, like, is that just not kind of a stupid thing in general? Like, is the demand for RAM that high, or is this just kind of a, you know, like a racket to make us pay more for RAM? I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like they could just produce more RAM. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
a production analyst, but you know.
A picture of a Wojak. Just make more RAM.
Yeah, just the Chad, just make more Wham than the Wham producers or the like crying Wojak. But I don't know, like if you're no, like I've said, I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to pay $900 for consoles.
No.
That's, I mean, to justify that, a decent PC would need to be like 3,000. Because a console basically needs to be the third of a price of a usable PC, you know, as I see it. Because otherwise, what's even the point of the console other than exclusives? And then you can't afford 3 PCs just so you can play certain exclusive games. Like,
Uh-huh.
it just don't work like that.
It just doesn't work.
Exactly. Todd Howard quakes. Oh, please don't see me gassed. Please
Please,
don't see me.
please see George. Please see George. Propagule. Zombie, get out of here. Get your goofy out of here and leave me alone. At least you dropped some gold. Okay, let's go back home. I don't think we've raided that pirate ship still, so that's an objective for another time. George, what happened?
I'm just in nether misery. It's not good.
I'm sorry, George. George, why don't you bring a bed to the nether and reset your spawn points?
Oh, good idea. I'll get right on that.
Oh no.
Make myself a shield because of these stupid things. I hate some Precious. I hate them. So, like, when Crimson Desert came out, which I was excited for, if you watched any of these previous videos, but, like, kind of unsure about, you know. I thought, you know what? What the heck? I watched a couple of reviews and it seemed good enough to me, so I'll go out and buy it. So, wow, you having an earthquake in there?
Yeah, I was drinking water.
But anyway, so we went to Walmart that day, and I went and checked the game section, and it wasn't there. And I thought, oh, that's crazy. Did it actually sell out? And so then I checked 4 Walmarts, which is the only thing we have around that actually carries the Vigi games. But and all but one of them, which was like 3 towns over, was completely sold out of Crimson Desert. So that's crazy. But when we finally got to the one that had it in stock, I was talking to the guy, and he said, like, no games sell out anymore, that it's crazy unusual for a game to be sold out like that. And he said the only other one to do it recently is Pokopia, or Pokopia, however you say it, the new Pokemon, like, Animal Crossing game. In Crimson Desert. So that goes to show that it's a pretty, you know, popular release. And on Pokopia, would you look at that? They handed the Pokemon license over to somebody else, and they produced a hit, sold out game. So there's your answer to that. That's how we can have good Pokemon games again, is just contract it out to somebody that knows what they're doing or cares.
Dang. That's oof.
That's true, though. I mean, people will argue with that. Pokemon fanboys, which I kind of am, but not of Game Freak.
I desperately want new games to enjoy. As I've said before on the channel, when I was a little girl, there were so many upcoming titles and hope for new groundbreaking games and just technology. There was so much hope and awe and wonder about what they were going to come out with each company's lives that they would do. Nintendo Direct, whatever PlayStations are called.
Sony State of Play.
Oh, Sony State of Play. Back then, there was so much to be excited for.
Yeah, you
And
you
it's
were
not
waiting
just because
to be
we're
like
older, it's
astonished, you know. Oh, what are they gonna blow my mind with? You know, now it's like, oh, what are they gonna ruin?
what are
What
they
are they
gonna
gonna?
ruin?
What that I love are they gonna destroy?
Exactly. Not to get off topic, but I was saying the other day that everything nowadays, they just kind of ruin. That's not just me being a negative Nancy. At least I don't think. They get their hands on these wonderful legacies. I forgot my dang crafting table. Yeah. They get their hands... Uh-oh. I'm about to get murked. But they get their hands on these great brands. Legacies like Halo. And they ruin them. What I was going to say is back then I would look so forward to those game company updates where they would talk about what's in store for us, what they're coming out with, new technology, everything. It was so cool back then. And it's not just because we're older, in my opinion. It's not, because gaming has literally gone downhill quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Quite a dang bit. We're gonna take our crafting table, go up here, and replace more blocks.
Yeah, like look up, and this would be before your time, but it was like in my old Unkin days.
Mm-hmm.
Look up the games that came out in 2007.
Mm.
You know, and how well we think of those games now compared to like all the games that released say 2022, and how
Mm-hmm.
well are they thought of now? And it's crazy. It's not even like close, you know, like and haters will say that, oh no, a ghast saw me. I'm gonna die. I don't want to die. I've
George,
come too far.
I come
But
too far.
but yeah, haters will say it's because of nostalgia, but it the things were just better back then. I promise you, they were better.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we're making progress with our pillager outpost. Let's go ahead and make 30. And we need more blueberries in our inventory.
Oh, I'm about to die, and it ain't even the ghasts.
Get your goofy eye out of here. I'm sick of y'all.
Oh shit! Oh no!
George, what happened?
I aggroed an Enderman somehow.
Oh.
I never even seen him, but then all of a sudden he was just on my platform beating me. I got away from him somehow. Why are there ghasts just spawning in front of me? Go away!
George, they just want to be friends.
Well, I don't want to be friends with them.
The music is so chill at the moment. Accompanied by every few seconds. Their tower is almost slabbed up. We're gonna remove that and put 2 slabs there to make it all snazzy.
Stop colonizing the illagers.
That is exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not even sorry about it. We need more mangrove. Where did you come from? Ooh, my game lagging. Speaking of that, it hasn't been bad at all this play session, which is refreshing.
No, yeah, it really hadn't.